I am not prepared. I'm coming from the city. I spent 5 days with my parents and I don't have rubber boots with me. We have this string going here. If you fall, you can pull yourself up. It goes on the island on this big tree. The ice is weaker here, stronger on this side because of the shade. The sun rises from there. And most of the day there's a shade here. So it gets weaker as we go closer there. On vähän vääränlaiset kengät. I made it, but not with dry socks. There was like 20 centimeters of water at places. This is the weak side here. You see how it starts to melt here. Anyways, I made it home. My socks are soaked. Now I will castle up for a couple weeks. Next time with the boat. It is time to prune all these berry bushes. What a mess. The snow melted everything that I did in the winter has come on top and I can see it. Here I've been making some logs. You see this mess. The garlic has sprouted. I've never grown garlic before. I planted them in the autumn. So they were there for the whole winter and it's the first thing to sprout. Look, still snow. This is the cabbage. The cabbage has sprouted, most of them. The water level is rising. Some of the lower areas are suffering from it already. Absolutely no business to the ice now. It's very, very sketchy. Last night I still went from here to swim in the hole. I've been cleaning the yard. I had lots of stones everywhere, so I try to make this stone wall here to make the ground eventually a little bit flatter, so the rainwater in heavy rains don't go there and flush all the soil away. Same here, I want to flatten the soil. I also took off the nets from the trees. They were protecting them from the rabbits. Rabbits circle the fruit trees every year, try to find a way to eat them. This is the fruit tree garden. Some of the trees look like they're really suffering and they haven't grown a lot in 60 years, like this pearl. I just have pruned it. Last year when I expanded the crop field, I took the top of the soil and transplanted this grass here. It looks like it's working pretty well. I hope it spreads here. And this one's a plum tree. It's one of the best ones. It has grown a lot. The trunk is getting thicker and thicker. It produced a handful of plums last year. A lot of wild trees growing here. I try to remove them, get their roots on as much as possible. This is mostly wild raspberries that has spread here. This is an apple tree, but for some reason the top of the tree has died like 3 times and it's growing new top. I hope it survives this time. I cut it a little bit more lower than before, and it looks like there's some kind of rot in the trunk. I don't know what to do with a tree like this. I have planted few new apple trees because of this. So this year the plan to make these trees healthier is to spread some bokashi, which is like healthy microbes and bacteria, to make the soil living again. Plant some white clover, spread some ashes to make the pH a little bit better. I think this moss here indicates that it's kind of not optimal for fruit trees. It's actually pretty bad because there used to be lots of pine trees. And also I'm gonna make another door on the chicken house on the other side, make another fence there so the chickens can roam this forest instead of the fruit tree garden. The plan was that the chickens would poop here and fertilize it, but this tree is too close. They just dig everything out here, so nothing grows here. So I really want to make this soil living again. This one here is herb salvia, like spice. I don't know why it has these spots on the leaves. Maybe it's because I spread some ashes and I accidentally throw quite a bit here and I didn't remember this was here, but it's growing some new leaves and it has some healthy leaves. Here I have another tea herb slash spice. It's called Saksankirveli. It's kind of a licorice plant, tastes like licorice. It grows back every year. It starts really early. This is my herb bed. It's right next to the house. There's some perennial herbs already. This is a kind of an onion. Here I have some, I think this is oregano. Yeah, it's oregano, Mäkimeirami. Here I have some mint for tea. Here's more oregano. I don't really do anything to this, I just let them grow. Here is more oregano. I have 6 different varieties of mint here and some onions and some oreganos and a couple different herbs that haven't sprouted yet or start growing. But later on this will be exploded, like up to my knee full of herbs. It's been for a couple years already. So this is for herbs. First butterflies of the season. The seedlings are doing fine, they're sprouting. Finally these palsternakka. This is some swede slash turnip, I don't know. There's some cabbage. Here I have some cucumbers and stuff like this. How much more it's going to rise? I think the ice is gone either today or tomorrow. the Swedes or the rutabaga sproutings. See how horrible of a spot I chose 7 years ago. I have basically built this tiny cabin in the lake. It floods like this every year. Pretty bad. I think I should move this cabin somewhere there. I also built this small greenhouse here under the terrace. Because I don't have greenhouse and I need greenhouse for growing all the saplings. It's too cold, there's nothing inside. There's some shelves. I had some humala growing there. It's like a vine that was supposed to climb the terrace, and it did climb a little bit, but it was suffering there because it's too wet. Once my sister came to visit and she brought me some special raspberries. They were suffering on the other location, so I transplanted them here. This is maybe better location because there's lots of natural raspberry. The natural raspberry has many worms and it rots quite easily, and the other ones are supposed to be more like mold resistant varieties. And I have cleaned and raked almost the whole yard. I still have to cut these stumps. There's 20 to 30 new stumps. Almost all the firewood is processed. There's quite a bit. The shed is loaded as well. I've been bringing this wood chips and shavings here to fill these holes in the ground. I want to make like a highway here because in the future I need to get firewood from there, that end of the island. So I want straight way where I can push the sled. This is the highest point of the island there, so it's downhill all the way. Slight downhill all the way to the woodshed, so should work nicely. I really need to stop cutting the big trees. These stumps make me sad. This was almost 100 years, I think 96 or something, 97 or something like this when I counted the rings. Pretty nice tree. The idea here is that the layer of ice and snow protects my axe when I chop the firewood here on the ground. But that makes it very efficient. I can chop the wood here and then just throw it inside and stack it in there. There's a lot less handling the wood. I don't need to put it on top of the stump and hit it and then bend over and pick it up, and I just smash it in the ground. It's a lot faster and a lot less energy needed.